All right, good morning and happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving morning. My family and I celebrated yesterday because my wife has to work later tonight. But I'm down here on the West Coast because that's where my in-laws are at. That's where we're spending Thanksgiving. I'm fishing Tom Bennett Park, which I've been here before. In my previous video, I caught a 7-pound redfish out of one of these ponds, which I think was a result of the flooding at Irma pushing the fish up into these ponds from one of the local rivers here. But we're out here fishing these ponds today. I didn't get a lot of time to spoke something right there. I didn't get a lot of time to fish these ponds, so I want to fish these ones and see if we can catch anything. You know, there are bass in here. I just don't know if there's any monster bass, but there's plenty of ponds in here. I'm going to ignore the big one at the front because that one seems to be the hardest to fish. Not a lot of structure. These ones look really healthy. There's a lot of weeds around them. So we're going to give it a shot and let's see what we can catch. All right, so let me show you the Senko setup that I'm using here. So I'm going to be using some Senkos. To save the Senkos, I'm going to use these O-rings. And this little device here you can get at Academy or at Bass Pro for a few bucks. And these O-rings, it comes with some, but once you run out, you can get replacements at Home Depot. And they're around $2, I think, for a dozen. The rings that you're looking for, depending on the size of the Senko you're using, mine's just the standard size. What is it, 5 inch, or I think it's 5 inch, 4 inch. So the O-rings that you'll need, I like the ones that fit a little bit more snug. If not, then the worm when it gets wet, actually slides up and down pretty easily. And we want the worm to stay on the hook so that we can catch multiple fish with it rather than going through one Senko for every fish. So the size of the O-ring that I'm looking at is, I think, a size 5 or 6. Either of those will work. And they're $2. You can find them in the plumbing section at Home Depot or Lowe's. And then what I do, you can hook right underneath the ring if you want, but I put a little bit into the Senko, and what that does is it keeps the worm from turning and the hook setting into itself. That will still happen with that setup every now and then. It's a little bit more rare, but at least that way I kind of guarantee that we are not going to get a hook set into the worm, which is a really crappy way to lose a big fish, and I've had that happen before. Don't happen to have my 7-foot one-piece with me. That rod doesn't fold down, so I didn't bring it. So I'm fishing with the old trusty 6.6 Delta spinning rod, and then I've got my 6.6 2-piece Browning. Alright, so I scared something when we first got there, and then no bites. It is cool out, and we've got a breeze coming in, which may or may not keep the fish kind of quiet for today. But I'm going to go and maybe throw a couple times in this pond. I know there are bass in here, caught them. And then I'm going to work my way around this pond. There's a lot of these reeds up against the shoreline, so it's going to make it kind of hard to find a place where you can actually fish efficiently. This is by far one of the nicer parks I fish. It's very well maintained. There's plenty of paths, quite a few ponds, and it's quite nice. I don't know if you guys see this. That is he's not huge, but that's an alligator snapping turtle right there. Kind of just, making his way to his next pond, I think. A lot of nature out here too, which is really cool. So I'm going to continue walking over this way and continue down around the pond and let him do his thing. That's a big fish. Oh my gosh, that's... Get him over here. I gotta get him over here. If there's a place I can land him. Please stay on, baby. Please stay on. Oh my gosh. Personal best right here, I think. Oh, I can't even pick him up. That's some weak sauce crap, Tom. Come on. I'm trying to get a good grip on him. Look at this. Monster. Look at this. Tank. Oh, we gotta get a weight on this guy. All right, 7-9. All right, new personal best. It's a bit exciting. All right, give him a little toss to get over this stuff here. There he goes. Wow. New personal best. 7 pounds. Was it 7.09. So just over 7 pounds. Came on a fluke. When I threw out there, I saw, when I was bringing it back in, I saw this wake, and I was like, that's not my fluke. And I'm running it pretty close to the top of the surface of the water. I was like, that's not my fluke. And then finally he inhaled it. I got him hooked on the bottom lip. He wasn't coming out. You feel like, I think I'd be more excited than I actually am right now. I was really kind of hoping I'd be over that 8 mark. Did get into the big bass or trophy catch competition here in Florida, but didn't quite make it. Just a pound short of where I needed to be to qualify for that. So I'm down on this side, seeing a lot more fish activity. A bunch of little bass. That one was probably about a pound. So hopefully the fish are going to start moving here and getting really active. All right, so I'm going to head over to the other pond where I caught that big redfish and see if anything else is kind of chilling out there, because I didn't catch anything else in that pond here. Okay, so we got a breeze going on, at least over here. This not as much tree cover, so this will be interesting to see if the fish in this pond are more active, or if there are active fish in this pond besides that 7-pound redfish that I caught several months ago. But we'll take a look and see what happens. All right, so the issue we get with this pond here, in my experience, is it's extremely shallow along the edges. It's a typical natural kind of Florida pond. Deeper in the middle, super shallow on the edges. So this right here is, I think, a little estuary that runs up into this pond if it floods. And I'm pretty sure that this is where the redfish came from. I doubt there's anything in here right now. It looks super low. There's a bunch of storks, I guess, is up there? I don't know what these kind of birds are. They're chilling out over here. The wind is pushed this way, so I'm thinking that the bait fish will be up this way, or there should be a good amount of bait fish over here. At least the bigger ones will probably be pushed this way, following the plankton and stuff that's being pushed around by the wind. So I'm hopefully that if there's any bass or any more large redfish, they're also going to be pushed up this way up against these reeds up here. Something on. I don't know what it is. It's not huge. Put up a good fight. Ooh, it's running. Never mind. It's big. I wonder if it's that redfish again. He'll play himself out. I'm not going to try to muscle this guy in. I'm pretty sure it's that redfish again. Or it could be big catfish. Big old catfish. No, it's the redfish. Walk him back here. I want to get him off the hook and release as quick as possible. Where are you hooked at? It's a redfish. It's a redfish.
What?
Redfish.
Really?
It's a drum, yeah. I caught him. I caught this fish 3 or 4 months ago.
Did you?
It came back as, let me see if he's still in this pond.
Yeah. Holy
So-
cow, you got 2 feet of fish there.
Yeah, last time I weighed him, he's around 7 pounds.
7 pounds. Holy.
So I was just curious to see if he'd still be in here. I think he came up here when Irma flooded, and I think he came up underneath that bridge.
Oh.
So he's kind of landlocked in here. But
Holy.
hold on, bud.
Boy, oh boy.
Here, turn around. Get your tail. There you go.
Holy cow.
I am pretty confident that was the same redfish as before. I don't think there'd be multiples in here, considering where it's at, and it's kind of landlocked right now with the water being low. But he seems to be pretty healthy. I don't think he's as heavy as the last time I caught him, but I could be wrong. And it's cold, so he probably wasn't fighting as hard. But puts up a good fight. Enjoyed that. Made sure he got back safe and into the water. Again, the nice thing about this park is there's plenty of trails to walk around. So if you're fishing is slow, you can actually walk around and explore a bunch of wilderness out here. And it's not really out in the middle of nowhere. 70 is right there. Sorry, 75 is right there. So you're not that far from civilization, but the sights, the smells, the fishing is usually pretty good. All right, so there's one last place I want to check. That little estuary that was at runs kind of all the way back through there and underneath, I think, 70. But there's some bigger canals up here. I guess they're not canals. They're some creeks that I guess run into the river, which again flows out into the ocean. So I want to get up here and check this out. I'm going to walk this trail, get on this parking spot here, and I think there's a ramp up here. So I'm going to take a look at that and see if that's fishable or not. And then I think I'm going to call it a day. I don't want to be out here too long. It's just a little after 9. I don't want to be gone by 10. All right, so that's going to do it for me. I fished the pond on the one side. Caught that 7-pound bass there. Came back to the pond where I've caught that redfish before. Caught him again, which was kind of cool. Fished this little estuary. I would really like to have gotten to that spot where the storks were, because there's something big moving down there around them, pushing bait fish. Not sure what it was, but not really any way to get in there. So, and then the boat ramp here is kind of shallow. So, 2 fish. A couple hours of fishing, broke my personal best for bass that I actually have on a scale now. Still just a pound, just a little less than a pound short of that bass that I need to get into the trophy catch. But overall, it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna go back, hang out with my family for the rest of the day now. So Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be safe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.